We were living in a basement suite with my mom living above us, and we've been together for 7 years and just very much felt that we were ready for the next step.
It was time to move.
It was time for us to move, get our own space.
We were renting for about 5 years and wanted to make our money work harder for us.
And also bigger space for the
Yeah,
family.
bigger space. We were renting a very old place and it wasn't safe for children.
We had some money, but not much.
We knew that we would only be making the minimum 5% down payment, so we were working hard for a year or two to save.
We didn't have all of our down payment saved, but we did have a partial of it saved, and then as we were looking at places, we were able to gain the rest of it, and then we also went into Cody's RSPs through work.
Yes. Pre-approval would have been going through talking with our realtor and then having her refer us to RBC Bank Management.
Shelley from RBC.
Shelley from RBC.
And she was wonderful.
And she was very helpful
She
with
was
it.
very wonderful.
At first, we went into our main financial institution just to get numbers and sort of general information because we
Interest rates.
interest rates, all that, sort of what to expect for down payment. And
We were discouraged at initially thinking that are we even going to be able to qualify for a mortgage, and it ended up working out well. It worked out well in our budget for sure as well that our realtor was free.
I think about a year. We went looking mostly in Langley and Surrey.
Yeah.
And then didn't really see anything we liked, and we're like, let's just wait for a year.
We knew we wanted a new place, so we had lots of fun looking at show homes, going through open houses and looking at all of the different layouts and kitchens and ways you could customize things.
No, actually.
Not at all.
No, it really didn't take a long time for us to find our place. We got really lucky that way. Again, we had really great people helping us out, and we got to see a fair amount of places in a short amount of time, and just ended up falling in love with the right one, which we didn't even know we wanted a condo, and yet we're in a condo. And again, thanks to the realtor that we worked with and just understanding our needs.
Dina kind of told me when it was the one that we were gonna get because I was out of town.
Yes, that was probably one of the difficult processes for us when we were looking for a new home. Was my fiance works out of town a lot, so we really had to lean on our realtor and everybody that we were working with, especially myself again, and they were just terrific with emails and correspondence, so that it was very much like he was here going through the process with us, even though he wasn't. The offer process was actually pretty quick, eh?
Via email, it was pretty quick. It was very quick.
Again, I think we kind of lucked out again in that process, and the place that we ended up falling in love with was a place that needed to go right away, and things fell into place really nicely, I think.
We were lucky and bought about 5 years ago before the market was what it is now. So the developer was actually working more in our favor. So the offer process involved more incentives for us, I feel like, that would have maybe happened now. Things like upgrading appliances, decorating allowances, and things like that. But I remember because we picked a new development that was still not built, we basically got to look at a map and pick our unit.
We had some ability to customize as well.
Yeah, we customized things like where a few doors went, what kind of materials were used on things. It's amazing because I was very overwhelmed. I was probably 7 months pregnant with our first child, and I was done with the process, and I just wanted to start thinking about things like decorating and moving expenses. I knew it was the place we wanted, it was the community we wanted, and it wouldn't be ready for another 6 months or so. So I was very comfortable bringing our realtor in and having her sit with us and go over everything.
It was nice to have someone on your side as well.
And just so I could understand everything or call her and be like, you know, I didn't understand this, or how much money do we need for this? I knew we'd be starting a family, and I really didn't want to be spending our weekends doing renovations. And also just budget reasons, we thought long run it would be more cost effective to buy newer and not have to worry about replacing appliances and things like that.
Of course, we got a home inspection.
Yes, of course
Never
we
get
got
a home without a
inspection.
home inspection.
No, exactly. Especially first time. Again, doesn't really matter condo, house. Do you really know how that washer and dryer works?
Yes, that was wonderful. We got to go through the entire place almost inch by inch. It was amazing. They went over things like nail pops in the ceilings, the way things would settle, down to like the caulk around our bathroom tub, which because of the deficiency report, everything was so thorough and noted. They ended up fixing everything before we moved in. And also a year after we had lived there, fixing things once more after the house had settled.
Moving day was fantastic.
Moving, yeah, it was hectic.
It was
There a lot of
crazy,
people.
but it
Thank
was
God there was a lot of
fantastic.
people though.
Yes, we had a
It went
great
really
group of
fast.
friends and family. We had no problem when it came to getting the key switched over, and still, it really hard to believe that the place was ours. I remember walking in the door like hand shaky, like, are we breaking rules here? But this is our place here. Like, we actually did it.
It was chaos.
It was kind of wonderful. We were very lucky. Our in-laws paid for movers for us, which we could not afford. But it was wonderful, being that we had a 3-month-old. And he was on my chest in like a little baby ergo carrier the whole day. And I remember going up to his room, and it was all bright and empty, and putting him in a bouncy chair. And I took a picture, which is in his baby book now. This is your room in our first house. The hardest part, it was hard saving when our friends were going to Vegas and going on fun trips and really cutting expenses. We lived in a very, very old home for several years, so we could save. We didn't have any assistance financially from anyone. I think saving was the hardest part.
Saving and then waiting, like
The waiting was hard.
there's so much waiting, especially buying a new house and waiting for it to be built. Just almost weekly, when it got close to the date, we're calling, can we move in, can we move in, can we move in?
Hardest part
Again,
of
the
buying
out of town, out of province, that would have been the hardest part.
yeah, which
For me, anyways.
you would have, like I say, you would have thought there would have been a lot more scares and worries along the way, but I just think because of the team that we had and that we worked with, they took a lot of those fears away, and we were just really able to worry about the important things because they had our back, again, with making sure we lived in our means and working with Cody being out of town. That the hardest part was just not having him beside me to actually look at these houses and be like, hey, we could do this, and the future planning, and you see my little book room, and
Improved our entire lifestyle,
yes.
to say the least. Yeah, made us happier in our life choices, and
Kind of, I think, pushed us a little bit in other aspects to adult a little bit too. And again, it's a big deal owning a house and having all the bills and everything in your own name and making sure things are functional. And but it's nothing to be said about being able to have your own space and really make a home for yourself. So.
yeah.
The equity, confidence, having equity, we're hoping to buy a second recreational property within a year or two. And having the equity in our home, especially in this market, our home value has increased over 100,000 since we purchased it. So having equity is power when you go to banks and want another mortgage. So it's also nice to know you're not renting. No one's going to be removing you, providing you pay for everything.
Yeah.
It's your home.
Yeah.